Welcome back everyone to the series of employee management system using MERN Stack. We have completed in the previous fourth video the department management. It means that we completed the to add department, edit department, delete department, pagination, sort, and also the filter functionality for departments. In this video we will implement employee management. It means that we will add employee like here. Okay, add employee, with employee, edit employee, and also we will add these two buttons for salary and leave for the history of employee, salary history and leave is history. But the salary and leave history I will show that whenever we are implementing in next videos the leaves and salaries. But in this video we will add this table to add employee, file handling, and also displaying the data, pagination, sorting, and also filtering the employees. We will implement these functionalities in this video. So let's start. Okay, in the previous video we implemented department. Now let's whenever we click on this employee, so we will move to the employee page. So let's go. And one thing else, that you should watch the department video, the previous video, fourth video. So if you didn't watch the previous video, so please watch that, because in this video what I am implementing, I will use the same concept as I have used in the department. Okay, I will, for example, in the department in the previous video we just displayed the data in a table, so I will copy that data, just I will change the data to employee, and the pagination is the same, the sorting and the filtering and also adding, the whole concept is same. I will just use the department code, just I will change that to the employee. So let's first of all close all these files, and let's move to the front end code. In the front end, let's move now to the close these. So I will create a new folder inside components for employee. The first file will be employee list, or we can just name it list. And the second file that I would like to create, that is add an employee. Now let's move to the sidebar, close this, and move to the component, the dashboard, the admin sidebar. So whenever we click on this employee, look at on this link, so we will move to admin dashboard / employees. Now let's move to the app.jsx file, and here I will add that route. So this is employees. Instead of department, I will just display the list of employees. I have imported that. Look at list from employee list, and we will display that. Let's now click on this employee. So look at, we directly move to the list, but we can't see the is active. So for the active, let's move back to the sidebar. I will copy the department, this code, okay, and I will change the code for that. I will add the is active property. Where is the problem? That is okay. If it is active, change the background color. So that is okay. The employee background has been changed. Now we are at the list. So in list we will display something like this: manage employees, and then add in new employee, and also the filter this input field. So I have implemented it in the department, so I will copy this area code. Okay, this area code. Instead of that, I will just display manage employees. Let's move now to the departments and department lists. manage department, and we have an input field. Let's move to list. Inside this I will paste that code, and manage employees. Instead of this I will write manage employees, and come down we have an input field, so we don't have the function right now. Let's remove this function, and then we have add new employee. So let's check it now. Come here to the employees, so we faced with an error, so let's check where is the error. We didn't import the link, so let's import link from reactor product. So look at, we have manage employees and add new employee. So let's just add here last name, adding 6. So after adding this, now whenever we click and this add new employee, say we will move to display a forum and add an employee. So for that, let's come here to the link, and here whenever we click this link, so we will move to add employee. Instead of department, add employee. Let's move now to app.js, and here I will duplicate this link. Okay, shift alt down arrow key to duplicate it, and alt down arrow key to bring it down. And instead of this I will add employee, and here add department. Instead of I will just call add employee. Okay, import that from employee and paste that here. So just come here and let's press add new employee. So look at, we are at the add employee route. So now here we will display a forum. So as we displayed forum for department here, so now I will create a separate forum. In that forum we will have all the fields that are required for an employee. So for the employee we will display these fields. Okay, these fields, all these fields. So I will just create this forum now. Move to add.js. I have added the forum data. Okay, nothing else. This is just HTML code. I will show to you. First of all, we have div element, and these are Tailwind CSS classes. And then we have add new employee, just text in H2 text. Then we have forum. Inside this forum, we have a div element, and we assigned grid. Okay, the grid system, and grid calls 1. For smaller devices, just display 1 div element, and for medium and large devices, display 2 div element in 1 row, and gap between these elements is 4. So look at, in the first div element we have name, input field for name. Then we have email, input field for name. We have employee ID, date of birth, gender, marital status, designation, department. So in the department, I didn't display anything. For the department, I will fetch department data from the database. Then I will display how many departments we have. So I will display the data here. Okay, because we would like to make a relationship between department and employee. Employees are in departments. It means there is one-to-many relationship between departments and employee. And salary, for the salary field, password field, and also role field, and upload image field. We have these fields. So now let's just first of all fetch the departments to display the departments also. So this is the user interface. Add new employee, name, email, employee ID, date of birth, gender, marital designation. These are the fields. So let's, for the departments, I will display the data and fetch data from the database. So to fetch data, for that let's create use effect hook. So here I will fetch the data for the department. So I will create a separate function, and I will call that function here in this, inside this use effect hook. So let's create a function inside helpers. So let's create in utils folder, I will create employee helper component. And inside this I will create a function const fetch departments So here I will implement the logic of how to fetch departments. So in the previous video we fetch departments, so let's copy that code as we have did that in a department list, and this is fetch departments function. Copy this function. There is just something different, so I will show you that. Okay, let's export it also, this function. Export const fetch departments, and inside this fetch departments, let's remove this response, and here we will move to the department that is okay, that is get request, and we will pass the token a response if the response data was success. So we don't need this. Okay, let's remove this, all this stuff, we don't need this. And if there was an error, just display the error in also. Let's remove this code. So this was the code of fetching data from the database. We already implemented the API of department, how to fetch the departments. Okay, I will show to you. In the previous video, we just fetched departments. Let's move to auth department controller. And this department controller, we just fetch the data. Look at get departments. So this is the data that we have fetched, departments. So whenever I receive, so here I will declare a variable, let departments, and here whenever we successfully retrieve the data, so I will assign to departments is equal to with response dot data dot departments, and at the end I will return that. That's it. Where should I try that? So that is okay. Okay, so now let's move here, come here back to the art, and here I will get the departments. Let's first of all create departments, set departments. This is an empty array with us, and here I will just call that function fetch departments from utils employee helper. So it will just receive departments for us. Const departments is equal to set departments. That's it. Now let's display the departments data. Let's move to the departments. Yeah, here I will display that. Okay, select. Inside the select we have the option. First of all, select department. For other option I will display data. So how I can display, I will just use departments.map function, department option, and in this option I will display department dot dip name, department name, and here I will assign to value department dot id. Okay, the value will be department id. Let's check it now. We faced with an error, so let's check it. Department.map dip, okay, option, that is okay. F12, let's check the error. So the error is departments.map is not a function. It says departments.map is not a function. It means departments, we have the departments here, which departments, that is also okay. Yeah, so the first problem for this was that here in the employee helper we should import access, because the access was not imported. So after importing that, the error exists yet. Okay, so here we will add a wait keyword. So the better method is that we should wrap our code through a function const get departments asynchronous function. Now we will call that here get departments. That's it. This is the better approach. Shift hip. So we will just add a wait keyword. So it should wait until it receives the response from that function. So then we will assign that to the set departments. So let's check it now. So look at, we have solved the error. So now let's display the departments. How we have which the departments are not. Yeah, that is okay. And here I will add key also, which is department ID. Let's check the departments. So look at, we have these 4 departments: IT, database, mail, and logistics. So now let's, whenever we insert data inside these input fields, so we should store the data in a variable, okay, in an object. Then we will pass that object to the server side. So we also have the file. So whenever you have a file in your forum, so the better method is that you should use forum data object. So let's first of all store the values inside an object. So let's create first of all object. So here I will create the object const forum data set forum data this is an empty object with us. The reason is that we will dynamically add fields to this forum data. So now let's add fields to this forum data object. So to add fields, for that I will create a function here, const handle change function. I will pass an event. So here I will just extract const name, value, and files from e.target. Okay, from if we are writing in name field, so we will just extract these fields from name. So then we will check if name was equal to with image. If the name was image, so then we will assign update this object for image. So how we can update our object? So we will call set set forum data previous data, previous state or previous data. Here update the object like spread operator, then previous data, and after that update just the name and assign value to that files 0, the first object of file. So here is the error, previous data and name file 0. So just drop this code through parentheses. That's it. So else if the name was not object, so then we will just set forum data. So here I will copy this line of code. Instead of files, I will assign value now. That's it. So now I will call this handle change method on all fields, like first of all on name, on change, handle change, like this. The name of name field is name, that is okay. So let's copy this line. For email, the name is email, that is okay. For employee ID, that is employee ID, okay. DOB, that is okay. And that is gender, okay. Paste that here. Male, female, and other. For marital status, the name is marital status, that is okay. And for designation, the name is a designation, okay. Department, the name is department. So here we can change this to department name. We have used dip name. The name is so that is, let's change it department. Yeah, that is department, that is okay, because we are storing this in the employee collection. And just come here, and here I will use that handle change salary for the password and also for role. So that is okay. Okay, so we have completed that. So after, whenever we press this button add employee, so we will call a submit function. So to call the submit function, for that come here to the forum and call here on submit handle submit function. So let's create that function. And e.prevent default, always in the submit function write this function, because if you don't write this, so it will trigger by its own self. That means it will refresh it again and again whenever you run your application. So after that we will pass our data to the server side. So to pass our data, for that we need to write the code up. Let's come here as we wrote in the department. Okay, department forum, the handle submit code. Okay, this code. Don't worry, I will explain you everything. Let's make it asynchronous function and also alt shift F. So axios.post, that is okay. Let's import first of all axios. So after importing that, here we will, instead of this, now we will pass our own data, our forum data. Okay, this forum data, let's close it also. This forum data. So how to pass that data? So to pass the data, for that we need to use forum data object, because our departments, okay, this forum data contains the file. So for passing file we should use forum data object. Const forum data obj is equal to new forum data. So after creating new forum data object, now let's append all the fields which are in this forum data to this forum data object. How to append those fields? So the first method is that you can manually write forum data object dot append, then one by one append all. But the dynamically method is that we will use object dot keys, and inside this keys we will specify now the forum data. Okay, our data. Okay, this forum data. So it will go through all keys which are in this forum data object. So after that, whenever it goes, so then we will call for each. So it will go through all these fields. So we will get the key from every object. Okay, for example, in this object we contains a name, email field. So it will get first of all name, then email, then DOB, and it will go on through the last field, last property. So inside this we will now append our data to this forum data object. So how to append? We will call forum data object dot append function. So after that, first of all key, then we will assign forum our forum data and key. So what does this mean? Okay, in this append, first of all, for example, we have name and email in this forum data. So first of all, it will append name here. This is the key is name and the value is the name value. Okay, here it will just distract the value of name, then email, the email value, then DOB, the value of DOB. So it is how we will use dynamically method to append all the values through this forum data object. Now let's pass that. Okay, so we will pass forum data object. So after, so instead of this we will call employee. So the method that we have used in list, that was, yeah, employee add, that is okay. Forum data, and we will also pass the token, and after that if response that was okay, so we will move back to the employees. I think after JSX we had employees. Let's move now to the server side to create this API. So let's go, and first of all we will create a route. Okay, a route for employee. Okay, employee inside this employee, let's, as we have used in the department, copy the department route code and paste that here, and we will just change, first of all, comment this one, we will use it later. Right now we are using just this one. Okay, just add a route, and auth middleware, we will call auth middleware, and let's just delete all these functions. We will just export add department from employee controller. So let's create employee controller and export this add, instead of add department, add employee function from that controller. So let's create the employee controller also. And from this employee controller, I will export now the create a function, add employee, and let's export it. Okay, export add employee. That's it. So we have exported the function from controller, and we have used that in route. Now let's import route in server in this index.js file. So here we will import that route. Duplicate this one. Instead of department router, employee router, just change the name. And here we will write employee.js. Now let's use the employee. Instead of department, we will write employee, and here the employee router. That's it. So now whenever we pass data, so first of all it will come to employee API employee, then move to this route to add, and it will call this add employee method in employee controller. Now here inside this, we will just insert our data to the database. So how to insert record to the database? For that we need to create a model for the employee. So let's create now department for model. Model for employee. So just come here to the models and new file employee. So in this employee, we will add all those fields. Okay, all these fields like name, email, employee ID, date of birth, all these fields I will add them. Then I will show you. I will create the schema. So this is the schema for employee model. In employee model, we will store, in employee collection, we will store the user ID. It has reference with user. It means that we will create for every employee a user account. Okay, we had user. So in the first video, in the second video, we created a user. Okay, we were storing these information in user collection: name, email, password, role, and profile image. So whenever we are creating an employee, so we will store this information as a user. For that, it means the employee has one-to-one connection with user. For every employee, we will create a user account. In user account, we will include these things, these fields. So this employee has connection with user, and employee ID. This is the ID of employee, that is okay. We will manually insert employee ID, DOB, date of birth, gender, marital status, designation, department, and salary, and lastly created at and updated at. And this is and I have exported the model. So this was, and here we have department. It has connection with department collection also. Okay, this employee has connection with department also, because the employees are in the department. If there is no department, there will be no employees. So that's how I have created here connection with user, and here connection with the department collection. So after creating this model, now let's import that here. Employee model and also user model, because we want to create a user account for every employee. Now I will store the data. Okay, first of all I will extract the data from request.body. Then I will store that inside the user model, the user collection, and the employee collection. So first of all, let's extract all the values from request.body. So these are the values, okay, name, email, employee ID, DOB, gender, and all the value we have destructed from request.body. So after destructing all these values, now let's first of all register a user for this employee. So to register a user, for that, let's first of all check if this email was already existed. So then we will later on this email is already registered with us. Let's const user is equal to await user dot find one. Okay, find one, and here we will specify email. Find one by email. If user was existed, so then return in error response dot status, for example 408.json success false error user already registered. In employee, like this. If the user was not existed, so then we will change this password to hash password. So for that, const hash password is equal to we will use bcrypt. So let's import bcrypt. Bcrypt from bcrypt. So after importing the bcrypt, let's now go bcrypt.hash. So first of all, our password, then salt. I have explained it already. So after changing, it means hashing the password, then we will register a user. So let's now register a user. Const so first of all, we need to store the name of the user, email in the user collection, then password. So password we will assign hash password, and after the password we will store role. After role we will store the profile image. So now for the profile image, if request.file was existed, so then store the image. So how we can store the image? So we will simply first of all store the image. Let's remove this profile image. So for the file handling, it means to upload a file and store that inside the server. So I will create a folder first of all to store images inside that. Inside this server folder, in server folder, I will create a folder by the name of public. Inside this public, I will create another folder and I will name it like uploads. Inside this uploads, I will store all the employees images. Okay, so now let's handle the file upload. So how we can handle the file upload? Just come here. We will use multer library for uploading image. First of all, let's how to store the image in database. So for storing the image inside it means to store the image inside our server side in this uploads folder. For that, let's specify const storage is equal to multer. Let's just import multer dot disk storage. So we will specify the storage. So first of all, destination, where you want to store this image that you have uploaded. So for that, this is a callback function, request file and callback function. Let's call the callback function, and inside that, first of all, error, we will not handle the error. And here we will specify the path. We want to store our image inside public/uploads folder. That's it. Okay, so what it will do, it will store, this is the destination of our image. So after that, the file name, whenever you are storing your file inside this uploads folder, the name, we should assign a unique name to all files. So for that, file name, again request file and cb callback function. So let's change, whenever we upload a file, so we will change name to a unique name. So let's call callback function again, and here first of all null for error, and for the name, so we will just use date dot now to assign that plus our image name date.now in the milliseconds, the date, okay, right now the date and plus the name of the image. So how we can access the name of the image? For that, path dot extension name file dot original name. What does this mean? Okay, so for example, I have uploaded a name, an image which contains, for example, user.png. This is the image. So this will convert this. First of all, it will take the date.now. The date.now, it will be in millisecond like this, plus this path dot extension name file dot original name. So this will take the extension name of the image. So it will just utter .png. It will store this path, just this path inside the uploads folder. This will assign this name to this image. Okay, whenever it is storing inside the uploads folder, so it will assign this name to our image. So that is okay. We have handled the destination and file name. So now let's use multer. Okay, let's use const create an instance upload is equal to multer. So we will assign multer to the multer, like this, in object, and storage. To this multer we will specify the storage is disk storage. That's storage. Okay, storage. So to the multer we specified that the storage is this storage assigned. Okay, it means the destination and file name is that contain. So now we will call this upload. Okay, how we can call this upload? Okay, to upload the image. So for that, let's first of all export this upload. So after exporting that, now let's move back to our route, employee route, and here we will import that. So after importing that, now we will use that here. Before the after auth middleware, I will call that upload, and here I will specify the name of property that we have passed. The name was image that we passed. So that's it. So one thing here, I should specify that single. Okay, we are just passing single image. Upload that single image. So now let's go back to our employee controller, and here we will just handle the profile image. So profile the image, the name was that request.file was existed. If we pass the image, so then we will store request.file name. Okay, store just the file name inside the database. It means request.file name, just store that name that we have stored inside the server. Else, if we didn't pass, it means we didn't upload the image, so then assign an empty string to our profile image. So this was, now let's save our user. So to save our user, for that const simply call await new user dot save, call save function. So it will save the user record. Now we will after handling the user, now we will store the employee data. So for the employee data, let's use const new employee is equal to new employee. The person get user ID. Okay, in employee model, here we have the user ID. So user ID we will get from this user that we have registered right now. So how we can get the ID of that? Let's store that saved user is equal to, okay, we have the new created user will be stored inside this saved user. Now let's assign the ID of that to this user ID field, saved user dot ID. So after creating the ID, the other fields are like employee ID, DOB, and gender. Employee ID, DOB, gender, marital status, designation, and what else we need to store? Department, and the department we have passed the ID of department. Okay, and lastly we will store salary. That's it. So we have stored all the fields, we have used all the fields, that is okay. Now let's save the new employee. Const new, or we can simply call await new employee. Save. That's it. So now let's return. I think we didn't wrap our code through try catch block, so let's wrap all our code through try catch block. So here we will return a response. Return response dot status 200 dot JSON. So inside the JSON we will return object success true, and after that the success true we will return like a message employee created. That's it. If there was an error, so return response dot status 500 dot JSON success false, and error server error in employee adding employee. That's it. So we have completed our API code. So let's move that. If we didn't face an error, so we will successfully register a new user. So let's open MongoDB Compass also to check the employees. So let's create connection. So after that, come here to the EMS. Inside EMS, we don't have the employees table right now. Come here to the front end and let's register a new user. Let's first of all refresh it. It is loading. It means we faced with an error. So let's solve the error. Where is the problem? Yeah, let's take this is employee.js, user.js. Come here to the department, to the employees, add new employees. So now let's add a new employee. We will name it first of all Arif at gmail.com, IDEMP Arif, and date of birth, for example something like this, gender single, designation this is developer, and that is in IT department. Salary is 500, password is 12345, and select role employee, upload an image. So after that, add employee. So we said server error in adding employee. So let's check where is the error. So server error, so we didn't. Let's just console the error. Save that. Let's come here and we will check the error. The error is data and salt arguments are data and salt arguments required. So let's check. Decrypt.hash password 10. Decrypt.hash password is okay. So we have passed the password, and we have also specified the salt. So I have found the problem. The problem is here in the front end. Whenever I was just distracting the new video files, this is target, not target. Okay, change the R to T. So let's now check it. Okay, let's move to back to the browser and let's press add. So let's move to the server side. Yeah, we have received the data, and let's just come here back to the employee controller. We received the data, and let's check it now at the database. We registered records or not. Let's refresh it. Let's refresh database. So the employees has been created, and we have the employee EMP112 single developer. And let's come here to the user. We have a new user arip@gmail.com. Everything is okay, but the problem is that we didn't move back to the front end. Okay, to the employees. Just come here, app response.data.success, navigate to employee admin dashboard / employees. It means that we don't have navigator. Okay, let's import the navigate. Can't navigate, use navigate. So now it will directly move to the navigate. Okay, whenever we create a new user. So let's create a new user. So let's press add employee. So we directly move back to the employee pages. Now let's fix the department, the employees. Okay, and display the records here, like here. Okay, we will just come here to the employees. We will display the records of employees like this. So we just added the employees. Now we will fetch the records and display that on the screen. So let's fetch the records. Okay, the employees data. So let's move to employee route, and here we will use this route for fetching the data. Okay, the get / get departments. Instead of this, I will write get employees like this. We will export it from, let's export it from controller, employee controller. Let's define that inside this controller. Just come here down. I'll just define that here. Const get employees asynchronous function. We will get request and response. So inside get employees, we will fetch now the record. So let's go to the route controller of department controller. So as we get here the departments, so instead of departments, now we will just get the employees. Okay, paste that data here. Const departments. Instead of this departments, we will use the employee.find, and after that return the employees. Let's copy this and paste it here. So that's it. It is all about getting employees server error. So everything is okay. So now let's export it, copy this. So this was the route of and controller of pitching the records. So now let's move back to the front end side and to the employee list. We will move to the employee list, to this one. Here we will pitch the records. So let's open the department list. We will do something like as we did in the department. So in the department, we will use React data table component. Okay, this one to display data inside this data table. So first of all, we need to just define these things. I have explained everything in the department section. Let's declare a variable. Just come here to the list. In the employee, I will just create a variable. Whenever I fetch records, so I will store those records inside this state variable, employees, set employees. So now let's fetch the record. So to fetch the record, for that we will use this method inside the use effect. okay, to successfully fetch the records. Let's copy this use effect, paste that here, let's import it, and inside this let's change this to fetch employees. Copy this method, this is a function that we have created, paste it here, and set loading. For this loading I will create a state variable as we have here. Copy this line and paste that line here. This is employee loading. Okay, whenever we are pitching the record, so we will display loading. So let's now use that. Copy this, paste it here, and also paste it here. So just come here to the set employees, that is okay. Const response access get, instead of department I will use employees. In let's check it, that is employees are, the route is employees, I think. So let's open index.js. So that is employee, not employees. Okay, just employee. So pass the token, and after that if we successfully retrieve the data, now to display the employees, for the employees we will display this data. Okay, just come here, serial number, image, name, dob, department, and action. So to return these department data also, because the department, how to retrieve the department name and also the user detail like name, which are stored inside other collection. Like just come here to the employees. In the employees we have just the employee ID, gender, marital status, designation, department ID, and salary. So how to retrieve the user information also according to this employee, and the department information also according to this user that we are fetching. Okay, so for that, whenever we are retrieving data, so just come here to the employee dot find all dot populate user ID dot populate department. So we will populate these records also. For example, I am returning this employee data. Okay, this employee data, so it will populate user ID. Okay, populate this user ID, this account detail also, and also department. Like come here to the department object ID. Okay, this department ID details also, populate them also with this whenever we are just returning the data of employees. So just move back to the list. Inside list, now here we will just define, first of all, serial number is okay, and here we have just store the ID, serial number, that is okay. Department name, so the department, let's come here, this is employees, yeah, that we have returned from server side, which is employees, that is okay. Sorry, that is employee. First of all, employee ID, that is okay. Serial number is okay. We have declared that above. Department name, so department name, we can achieve the department name like this. Okay, let's display that. Employee dot department name, and after that we will just retrieve the name of the employee, which is employee dot user ID dot name. Okay, we can access by these fields. Come here, in the employee we have user ID. Through this user ID we can retrieve the user detail. Through this department we can retrieve the department detail. And one thing else that I should mention, that whenever I am populating the records, okay, here just come here, while I am populating the user detail, I should not retrieve the detail of like password. I should not retrieve the password. I should prevent the retrieving of password. So to not return the password, for that simply I will specify password 0. It means don't return the password. If I write password 1, so it will return just the password. So now it means don't return the password and return other fields. Let's go back to the front end. I think we don't need this one. Come here to the list and name. We would want to display the name. I have returned the name. So after name, what we need to display? Department name, serial number. That is okay. Department, serial number, name. DOB and image. I would like to display these two also. DOB and image. And for image, amp dot user id dot profile image. That's it. So I have returned all the fields. One thing else, which is employee id. So yeah, we don't need to display the employee id. Let's just display these fields. So now in action, we will move to the buttons. Okay, I will create buttons and I will display those buttons here. So let's close it. Instead of this, I will create buttons inside the employee helpers. So as we have created in the department, okay, department helpers. So as we created here the department buttons, like this component, okay, this one, department buttons. I will copy this component. We created it in the department video. Export instead of department buttons, employee buttons. And I will pass just the ID to this buttons. Okay, navigate. I think we have access here. We don't need delete, so let's remove the delete and come here. Here we will create 3 buttons. The first one is to view, then edit, then delay, then salary, then leave. This is, for example, view, and after that edit. So after delete, we want to create a button for salary and leave. This is for leave. Read, that is okay. Text white. This is salary is like yellow, and this is let's make it green. We can make it blue, white. So now let's import this employee buttons inside the list. Yeah, after importing the employee buttons, let's pass ID to that. amp./id. Employee ID I have passed to that. So here how we can manage that. So let's create, now we need to create the columns also, as we discussed in the par data table. Okay, to use this data table, let's import first of all the data table inside list. So for this data table, we need the columns also to specify columns. Come here to the employee helpers. So here I will specify the columns. So come here to the department. I will copy the columns. These are columns. Look at, we will just create columns like this. So after creating these columns, now let's edit it. Row.serial number, that is okay. Here I will display the image. Then I will display name, or here I can display name, and sortable, that is okay. Row dot name, and down from that we would like to just display the image. Then department, I think. So here row dot profile image, and here department name, row department name, as we have created here. Yeah, that is department name. Okay, serial number, department name, name, DOB. Okay, so let's display the DOB also. So for the DOB, what we need to display, I will just change the DOB. Okay, whenever we retrieve the date, I will just change the date. Come here, new date dot to date string. So just come here. Now we will import the data table here. So here let's import the data table. Specify first of all columns. So let's import the columns from util employee helper, and after that we will specify data. The data is the employees. Save it and let's check it what happened. Let's come here, and here there is no records, okay, to display. So let's check why we didn't fetch the records. Employees is okay. Data.employees, and let's first of all console.log. So here we paste src components, reload. Yeah, set department loading is not defined. So the error is it is not defined inside list.jsx. Let's refresh it. There is no error. We don't have Axios here, so let's import Axios here. Yeah, we successfully retrieved the data. That is implies that we have returned. Let's look at, we have RE IT image. We didn't display the image yet, so I will just assign size to these columns. Okay, so let's assign columns. So I will just remove these sortable from other columns. This is not sortable. Yeah, based on date I will sort them, but not based on department, not based on image. Based on name is okay. That is okay. So now what I wanted, so let's display the image. So to display the image, for the image what we need to display is that, and just come here, back here, name image, come here to the image. So to display, okay, let's first of all check we uploaded the image to the public folder or not. Yeah, we have these two images. So to access these images from server side, let's move to index.js file first of all. In the index here I will specify app.use express.static public slash uploads. It means uploads that we can access these public folder and upload folder from our front-end side. So let's how we can access it. Let's move to the browser, and here I will write /5000 sorry, that is http localhost 5000 slash public. Press enter. So cannot get the public, it means uploads. Even inside the uploads we can just simply let's return the name up in image, copy it .png. So that is okay. We directly access the uploads folder data, the images. So now let's print the data. So to print the images, for that come here to the image, come here back to the list. In the list here I am displaying the profile image. So here I will just write the image img src is equal to, so here I will display the image. Simply I specify http //localhost colon 5000 slash the name of the database, the name of the field. That's it. So here I will, instead of profile image, I will assign the name of, and I will display that like this. Save that and let's check it now. So http localhost 5000 amp.userid.profile image. Yeah, the problem is here in the just spelling mistake. This is image. So I should just correct the spelling mistake, image, like this. Now let's check it. So we can display the image like this. Let's add the width and also class name rounded. Width is 40 and class name rounded full. That's it. So this is the image that we have displayed. Now let's assign width to these table columns. Come here to the employee, and here I will add the width. Width is like 70 pixel. So look at, we have added, that is okay. This is also 100. Yes. And the image is 90. So it looks like this. Now let's just add the when is September. Let's just edit the date. Here new data to date string to local date string. Yeah, just the date, and here we will display the button. So let's bring these buttons to the center. So to bring buttons to the center, come here to the columns, come here to the action, and here I will add center true. That's okay. So we have these 4 buttons. So now whenever I press OK, we have displayed the employees. We can also like sort them. They can sort by name also. So after doing this, now what else we need to do? Let's apply view. Whenever we press this view button, so we would like to display that record. So for that, let's move to action, to the employee helper, and here to the buttons. Where are those buttons? Come here, employee buttons. to the view. Whenever I click on this, so I will move to admin dashboard slash employee. After employee slash to id, employees slash id. Let's open the app.jsx, and here we have the employees. Yes, that is okay. Employees and id. Employees, then we will pass an id. That is okay. Yes. So just come here, admin dashboard, employees slash, we will pass an id, colon id. And instead of this, we will move now to the edit. So let's create the edit component, the view component. Let's go back to the employee, right click, new folder, view, the JSX or AFCE. Save that. Let's import that view. Import that, so that we have imported that. Now let's move to the view. Here we want to display the use the record. So let's first of all get the id from URL. Const id is equal to use params. We will use param hook. So get id from URL. After that, we will fetch record based on id. So let's fetch the record based on id. As we fetch record in the department, let's come here back. Whenever we were editing, so first of all, we were getting a user, a department based on id, like here. Okay, so let's copy this data and close it, come here to the view and paste that here. I will show you to now. Okay, we have use effect and fetch. Instead of this, fetch employee and set loading. So let's close it, we don't need this one. And a response access.get, and here employee. After that, we will pass the id here, either response.data, and here we will create a state variable, const employee, set employee, use state, and after we will assign this data to set employee, response.data.employee. That's it. And come here, then print the error, remove this loading, save that. Instead of this, fetch employee, and now we will display the record here. So to display the record, for that we need to just display the record, like at the right side we want to display an image, at the left side, and at the right side I want to display the details. So for that, I will just write the HTML code. So in here I will display the image. So the image would be like, let's print the employee dot employee dot user id dot profile image, like this. This will be the URL of our image. So before this, we will attach http colon double slash localhost colon 5000 slash, then in a variable we will write the wrap that like this. So we can display our image. After down from displaying the image, we will display the user information. So in the user information, we can display the username and DOB and department, all those information I will display. So I will just display the information, then show to you. So I have displayed the information, like first of all I added h2 employee details, then in this div element I have displayed first of all image, then down from that the name of the employee, then the employee ID, then date of birth, after that gender and department and marital status. I just displayed this information. You can display other information also. So now let's check, okay, to the backend, to the server side to implement this functionality. Let's go and come here to the first of all employee route, and here we will get based on ID. Okay, I will just uncomment this one, get based on ID instead of this get employee. Copy this and we will export it, import it from employee controller. Let's declare it inside the here. So instead of, let's copy this code, the whole code, paste it here instead of this get employee, just simple. And let's first of all get the id based on url. Const id is equal to request.params. So we can get id from url in server side like from request.params. So after getting id, now let's find by id. Find by id, here we will specify id is equal to with id, so we will pass that id. So after that user id, that is okay, we will just get the populate the user data and the department data, then we will return that data. And if there was an error, so we will return this one. I think that is okay. Let's try it. Let's press the view button. So we faced with an error. Let's check it. Where is the error? So it says reference use effect is not defined. That is okay, absolutely. Come here to the view, and here we will import use effect and also access. Also I think we should import, yeah, that's okay, we don't need something else. Cannot read privacy undefined reading profile image. Okay, cannot read. So let's now assign to this, it means this is empty by default, so let's assign null. And let's come here down, if employee was null, if employee was null, it means if there was data inside employee, so then what we will do, we will display the data, the records. Okay, just come here. If there was data, so then we will display all these information, otherwise we will display an error like loading. If the data was existed in employee, display this information. If the data was not existed, then display loading. So let's check it what happened. So look at that is in loading. Let's refresh it. Okay, the status is in loading. It means, okay, let's check it. Set employee, we have passed data to that. No server side error. We have assigned null, that is okay. Let's check. Let's just come here, console it. Always when you are facing error, check it like this. Okay, dot data, see that. Just come here, we receive data or not. Yeah, we received data successfully, that is okay. Yeah, we have received the data, there is no problem. But instead of this, we should just not see this. Yeah, I have solved the problem. The problem is here when we are retrieving the data that is employees. So I will change this employee, and because we used employee here in the view component, we used employee, we retrieved the employee here. That's why it was an error. The name should be, here was employee, but there was employees. So let's check it now. Let's look at we displayed. Let's refresh it again. We have the detail of user. We have displayed the information of user. So now let's, whenever we press this edit button, we would like to edit the component user and employee information. So for the edit, for the edition, let's just come here, close this one, and also close this one, and come here to the employee helper. Whenever we press this edit button, we want to move to the edit component. So let's click it on click. We will just use navigate. So in navigate, where we would like to move, so we want to move navigate to the view component, to the edit component, admin dashboard slash employees. Employees, yes, but here we should just employees slash edit slash, we will pass the id like id. Okay, so we will move to employees and then to the edit. Let's move to up and define that route. Employee slash edit slash id, and here we will use the edit component. Let's create the edit component. Let's now import it inside app.jsx instead of view. Move to edit. Let's edit. So we are in the edit component. Now let's edit this user. Let's move now to the edit. So to edit the user, for that we need first of all to pitch the user data to display that in a forum. Then we want to edit that. So for the edit component, we do something as we did in the adding employee. As we added an employee here, first of all we are editing, then we are submitting the employee information. So I need something as I did in the add. Okay, I will copy the whole code of add component, because the logic, the code is the same, because we are writing the same code, the same input fields, the same fetching a record and submitting a record. Okay, that's why I am writing on copying the code, because if I don't copy the code, you know, it will, this video will be 3 hours or 3+ hours. So let's write here edit. This is edit. I will just show you what we need to change in this add component. First of all, departments, that is okay. Set departments, that is okay. Forum data, everything is okay. Forum data, we don't need forum data, because I don't upload a file here in this edit component. And here in use effect, instead of getting the department, here I will pitch a record. Okay, here I will pitch the employee record. Pitch employee. Okay, first of all I will fetch the employee details and show you on the screen, then we will edit those information. So to get the employee detail based on id, so let's first of all get id from url. That's it. And inside fetch employees, so you know that whenever we were viewing the information in view component, we just fetch a record based on id. So I will just copy that code. In use effect we did that. So here also we are pitching a record based on id, employee records. Okay, I will just fetch a employee record. So after pitching that, I will store that inside set employee. So let's change this to employee. That's it. So after that, just come here down. So whenever I pitch the records, then I will display those records. Okay, so to display those records, just come here down. I will just now leave this submit function, just wrap that, and I will display the information on the screen. So edit new edit employee, here display edit employee down, that is okay. And in the name, I want to edit name. So for that, let's add value. In value, I will add employee dot user id dot name, like this. And after the marital status, okay, this name, so we will move to marital status. We don't want to change the email. I will just show you a few fields to edit. We don't need the employee id to edit, and also date of birth we don't need it, and gender I don't need to edit this one. Also the marital status I want to edit this one, so I will simply write value, the default value. Okay, default value is equal to with employee dot marital status, and down from that let's come here to the designation. Yeah, I want to change this one also, update it, employee and down from the department. Yeah, I would like to update the department also. So to update the departments, we need these departments to fetch from the database. So I will just fetch the database. Don't worry for that. Also, I want to change the salary value. Salary per the employee. Password, yeah, I don't need to the password. Role, I don't need this one also. And also I don't need this. So I think there, how many fields are there? First, second, third, fourth, and fifth one. So the last one I will just make it last one, which is salary. Let's bring this department down from salary, and to this one I will assign call span 2. And now for the departments, let's fetch the departments also. So here we fetch just the employee. So let's first of all fetch the departments. Let's move back to the add component. In add component, we fetch the departments like this. Okay, so let's fetch the departments. Yeah, here I will just use department and set departments. Set departments is equal to use state. So that is okay. And here what else we need? We have the fetch departments function. Yes, we have that. Get departments, that is okay. Let's try it now. Okay, let's try it now. Let's move to F12 and check the error. Cannot read properties of undefined reading name. So let's do it something. So let's change this to null, and also this to null. And I will just change employee and departments. Okay, employee and departments. F departments and employee were true, so then display the data, else display loading. So let's check it now. So that is okay. We have the data. We have, okay, whenever, for example, let's move to the employee. For example, I want to edit this employee data. Press the edit. So we have Latif, marital status was single, developer 500, and select the department. So let's select, for example, which department you want. Let's, for example, change this to yeah, we should call handle change function also. Yeah, handle change. We should call handle change. Handle change, we should just come here in the handle change. This is handle submit. Handle change is this one. We don't have file. Let's remove this, and also this one, and also the file. Name and value, previous data, name and value. Save it. Set, instead of this I will call set employee. Save that now. Let's check it now. For example, change this to we can't edit it again. Let's handle change, either target, name and value, set employee, previous data, so we cannot update the data. The reason for that is here we have employee.user.id.name, but here we are directly updating name, so we don't have name. So for that, whenever we pitch the employee data, so let's do something. Okay, let's do it. Instead of this, I will declare here, let's just come here to the employee. I will create an object inside this name, an empty string. Then after that, the name we have which fields we want to update. First of all, name, marital status, designation, and salary. And last, department. So now let's update these values. Just come here and to the fetch employee. So here I will update the values. First of all, I will update the name. The name I will assign a response. Let's write something like const employee is equal to response dot data dot employee. Employee dot user ID dot name, and to marital status, I will assign employee dot marital status. After marital status, the designation, employee dot designation, salary, employee dot salary, and lastly department, that is employee dot department. That's it. Now let's display this data here like this. Okay, instead of this employee, I will directly write employee dot name. Here employee dot marital status, that is okay, and designation, employee dot salary, and here in the department, department, yeah, select change, we don't have value. Save that. Let's check it now. So that will be okay now. So let's refresh it. Yeah, we have the data. Let's change now data. So now we can update the data. Like I will change this name to Asif Marriott, like database engineer, and salary is like make it 600, and department, let's make it database. So whenever I press this update button, this is update. So I will call the handle submit function. Okay, this submit function. So whenever I call that handle submit function, let's pass the data to the let's remove first of all this forum data object. We don't need that. Axios.put. Instead of post, we will use put method because we are updating record. And here we will move to API employee, and we will pass the ID here because we are updating a record. So let's pass ID of employee. This ID. Okay, because we have passed the employee ID here. Employee ID. So I will pass that employee ID. API employee ID, that is okay. Here I will pass employee, and I will pass that admin dashboard this employees, that is okay. Now let's move to the server side to update the record. We have passed our data. Come here to the employee. First of all, here control shift slash put slash ID middleware update employee. Now let's declare it here. That's it. Let's export it. So now in the update employee, we will update record. So to update record, how many fields we need to update? First of all, name, which is in user table, and marital status, designation, salary are employee table, and department is in the department table. We need to update all these three fields, three models. Okay, so let's first of all import all these three: user, we have employee, we have, let's import the department also, because we want to update that department. Import department from model slash department.js. First of all, I will update the name for a user. So to update the name for that, first I will find a user record. Okay, let's find for the updation. So let's use try catch block. In catch block, if there was an error, so return the error like here. Copy that and paste that here. The error is that getting update employee error. So now inside this, we will first of all, let's come here and come here to the add. As we were getting the data from requested body, here also we will get data. So let's come here. First of all, I will get ID const from URL ID is equal to request dot params. After that, get these data. We passed the name and the name. Then let's also remove these. We passed from front end name, marital status, designation, department, salary, just these fields. So after passing these fields, now let's first of all check the employee. Const employee is equal to await employee dot find find by ID. We'll pass ID. If not employee, if the employee was not exist, so then return an error. Status 404 false. Employee not found. If the employee was existed, so then we will check the user, if the user is existed or not. Const user is equal to await user dot find by ID. ID is equal to with employee dot user ID, because in employee record we have the user ID. If not user, if the user was not existed, again we will return an error. If not user, user not found. But if the user was also existed, now let's update them. So const update user is equal to await user dot find by ID and update. So here I will specify ID, which is employee dot user ID, comma, here I will specify which fields I want to update, just name, just the name I want to update, and down from that I want to update the department, the employee also. Employee dot find by ID and update. So which fields I want to update? Name, the marital status, designation, and salary. And the departments, okay, yeah, we didn't update the department, so let's find the update the department also. So we pass the department data also, department. So yeah, for the department we will just write like this. Okay, we are just for the department, we are changing just the ID department, which is in employee table collection. So that is okay. So after updating that, now let's check once again if there was any error. Update user or not update. If these two documents were not available in update employee and update user, so then return an error. Document not found. Else, if everything was okay, so then return response dot status 200 JSON success true message employee updated. Save it and let's try it now. Let's go and let's update it. Let's change this to save Marriott engineer and changes to database. Let's press edit. So look at everything has been changed. Save database, and we have changed that. Okay, so let's edit it again. For example, save to now change this to Khalil single department like logistic engineer. Press edit employee. So look at Khalil and logistic that we have updated. So it was the updating user. Now let's add pagination. So for the pagination and filtering users, so for that just come here, and for the pagination simply come here to the list. In list, come here to the data table, simply add here pagination. That's it. So we have added pagination and the sorting is already available. Okay, for the sorting, just simply add to this employee helper to the columns. In these columns, just add selector. Sorry, this one selectable sortable true. Okay, we would like to sort by name and by date of birth. Okay, by date of birth, like this. So this was sorting. Now let's apply the filter. Okay, to filter the records. So far to filter records, just come here to the list. And for filtering records, for that let's create const filtered employees. This state variable and set filtered employees. Use state by default null. And to this filtered set filtered employees, this state variable I will assign employees. Whenever I pitch the employees, so I will assign the data to these also. I will assign data to this one also. And whenever I press in this, okay, change, write something in this input field, so I will call unchange handle filter. Let's call now, create this function now. And const records is equal to, I will use the employees dot filter function to filter records. So to filter records, for that I will just create employee. And let's return now here that employee dot, I would like to filter based on for example name. Yeah, based on name. So for that dot employee dot user id dot name dot to lowercase, change that to lowercase, dot includes e dot target dot values dot value dot to lowercase. Here we will pass e dot target. And finally we will update set filtered employees, and we will pass records to that. And instead of displaying passing employees, I will pass filtered employees. Let's check it now. Come here to the employees. Look at we have. Let's search it. For example, array. We can't see the changes. Not searchable. Let's check it now. Okay, let's. Data filtered employees. That is okay. Set filtered records. That is also okay. Employees dot filter emp.user id dot name. I think that is like that. Oh, sorry, that is, so employees, we have stored this data employee dot name. Okay, not that employee dot name, not user id. Save that. Let's try it now. So let's write. So look at Khalil, no record. But if we write like KHLAIL like this, that is true array. But if there is no record, there are no records. So this was the filter functionality that we implemented. So it was all about the employee management that we completed in this video, the 5th video, and which was adding employee and editing employee, view the information of employee, and pagination, sorting, and also filter functionalities. Now in the next video, inshallah, we will implement the leaves in the salaries. In the next video, leave, and after in 7th video, the salary. So it was all about the employee management in this video. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.